Welcome, everyone. This is Rocky Nash with 8 News Now. Today, joining us is Robert Hendricks, U.S. spokesperson for Jehovah's Witnesses. We published a story at the beginning of the month marking the start of a global campaign by Jehovah's Witnesses to distribute electronically and by mail a special edition magazine titled What is God's Kingdom? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, Rocky. First of all, thanks for having us again. We really appreciate it. You know, this global campaign that we're doing comes at just the perfect time because so many people are concerned about government. They're concerned about what's going on in their governments, both locally and nationally. And this isn't just an issue in the United States. We are in the middle of probably one of the most controversial campaigns in our history, or certainly in my lifetime. But really, it's going on all around the world where people are wondering, how do we fix the problems that we face? How do we fix the issues facing us just with sickness and with economic issues? And this is the answer. We are providing the answer. It's been provided to us a long time ago through the Bible. And it's God's kingdom. And that's why this message is so powerful right now, so appropriate to people's lives. We are so glad to be able to campaign for a government, God's government under Jesus Christ, that can really do the things that it promises, really accomplish God's will for mankind.
Yes, this campaign was initiated amid a pandemic and also in the heart of the election. Many wouldn't launch a campaign at that time, but you've noted as to the why. And people do need comfort right now. Many are used to seeing Jehovah's Witnesses going from door to door to preach. How have you adjusted your method of preaching and teaching now that in-person meetings are no longer an option for your ministry?
Well, back in March, as you know, you reported on it, we did suspend our public meetings at our Kingdom Halls, the use of our Kingdom Halls. We no longer have any public gatherings. We suspended our public ministry and even our global convention, which was, these were historic moments for Jehovah's Witnesses because we are known for our door-to-door witnessing. But really, the object and the purpose of our witnessing, the very reason why we do it, our ministry couldn't stop. And so we continued it on, as difficult as it was for folks to adjust to an in-person ministry to something virtual, whether it was getting on the phone with somebody, perhaps perfect strangers, whether it was doing something virtually with Bible studies, or sending through the mail or email. And so we've had 6 months practice, and we've done it globally in many, many different countries. We've done it in every place, every corner of this country. And so we began this campaign preparing for it in September, October. We started it in November. And so we're using the very tools that we developed over those few months of time. And we're getting to folks in their homes through the mail, through email, when we meet somebody on the phone, through texting, sending them links virtually, and also sending the physical magazine with a personal letter.
That was what I was going to ask too regarding the community response, specifically people who do not share your faith. How did they respond? And as far as the efficiency of the campaign, can you share with us any results?
Well, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses around the globe are uniquely qualified to do this work because we're kind of set up for it. We have 8.6 million people. We'd say those are our boots on the ground. Each area of this country and other countries are divided up into small territories that relate to a congregation. Those folks have their ear to the grindstone, if you will, because they know what their community needs and is all about. And we have a distribution product, if you will, the magazine that's printed in more than 350 languages, tens of millions of copies, the most widely distributed, the most widely translated, and the most widely printed magazine ever in history. So that's what we had to deal with. And the reaction that we're getting from the communities is pretty amazing. When we go to our neighbors in this way, many are just so thankful to be getting positive news. For example, just in this country, some of our local officials have responded, even in writing, and just have said, thank you for thanking us, because we're writing these personal letters thanking people thanking our government officials for their work. And they don't get letters like that often. around the world globally. We just had a meeting yesterday with our branches around the world, and several of them talked about the amazing experiences that they're having in places like Samoa and in Bangladesh even, and the reaction from key top officials of their federal government is keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing. And the answers that you're talking about to the problems that we face, God's kingdom is the answer. So some are agreeing. There's some who are saying, don't send it to me again. But at minimum, we're getting the message of God's kingdom out to probably the most important people in the world, the people who are leading our governments and our businesses.
And you spoke to it with people experiencing the worldwide pandemic, food shortages, civil unrest, earthquakes, and other major disasters at the same time. There are voicing their concern and uncertainty for the future. So what would you have to say to viewers who perhaps haven't been reached yet by phone or haven't received your magazine in the mail? Where can they go for more information?
You're right. People are going through so much today. And our hearts go out to our neighbors and many Jehovah's Witnesses. We're not immune to it. We've dealt with it as well. We all need hope. The bottom line, we need a message of hope. We need comfort. And God's kingdom can provide both. And the way that if you haven't gotten contacted by Jehovah's Witnesses, please go to jw.org. It's on that website, right in the homepage, right at the top. You can get a copy of this magazine virtually. And this magazine talks about what is God's kingdom? Why do we believe, and why does the Bible teach that we're close to seeing that kingdom come? And what will it accomplish not only for the world, but also in your lives?
Well, thank you again, Mr. Hendricks, for joining us and sharing how Jehovah's Witnesses are doing their part to spread a comforting message throughout the community as we are fast approaching 2021. Thank you again, and go to 8newsnow.com for the full story. As well, visit jw.org to download a copy of this magazine.